Hey, welcome back everybody. Today we're talking about, are helicopters sooner than we think? Is this part of the secret update? And we are talking about Rust Console Edition for the PlayStation 4, the Xbox One, next generations, and everything in between. And of course, I'm Jade Monkey. Okay, so I know this sounds nutty. We did just talk about what could potentially be in the secret update, but I've seen some information recently that kind of hit me in the face, metaphorically speaking, of as I was doing some comparisons and looking at stuff, I was like, I really think this is a possibility. Now, I think it's now a candidate for possibly the secret update. We still don't know yet, but if it's not, I think it's going to be soon thereafter, like soon. And I know this one was kind of just like, it was obvious, but it wasn't obvious. And as soon as I saw it, I was like, no way. So we're going to go through all this stuff. We're going to walk it through, and I'll tell you why I think it's really sooner than we think. And of course, I'm very excited about this. Minis are the absolute favoritist vehicle in the game. It is such a core part of Rust console, or just Rust, and it'll soon be a part of Rust Console Edition. So I'm mad excited about this. So there's a little picture of a Mini. It took me a hot second to do with a big neon crayon. Okay, so helicopter sooner than we think. Let's break it down. So we do have. Okay, so like in the past, I know a lot of people probably know this now. They said, look, we tried the helicopters, we prototyped them, they didn't work. I remember that, I saw it, it was very clear. That's why I was like, this probably isn't going to be a thing. But that was in the past, that was before performance updates. And they were right. Basically, the core systems, we have a limited set of memory and resources on the different consoles. Because remember, we're basically programming, or they're programming, excuse me, for lowest common denominator. So we only have so many resources and so much GPU power, all that good stuff. And they basically said, when you're flying around in these things, the game would just melt on those core systems. And I get it. It's not just rendering all of this terrain as you get up higher. See how the visual range is much, much further. But you have to take into consideration very crowded servers with a lot of big base builds, right? So that can slow things down. Slow things down for the PC as well. I remember when these came out on PC. So they were right. And so that's where we thought all of this stayed, right? And it does. It makes perfect sense. I mean, even Jay, who doesn't work at Double 11 anymore, but he was super helpful, and he said minicopters weren't being worked on in 2022. Even Pedro said that they had prototyped it, and they said it basically melted everything, as we just said. So it makes sense, right? And that's where it all kind of sits in everybody's zeitgeist right now. Everyone's like, okay, so not obtainable for us. But I beg to differ. So we do know, we did get some transportation. Pedro did say that they are working on different types of transportation. We know one of that is horses. We already have that in our possession, but could he be hinting towards something else? Question mark. We don't quite know. But here's the thing. This is how the game existed pre-performance update, or we'll just call it pre-terrain update. We'll kind of interchange those two, right? Things were a lot dingier. We didn't have as much detail. Water was very flat. Frames could be rough, you know, we had input lag, but we did get the terrain update. I forget exactly when we got it. It was around, I can't remember. It's been relatively soon, or frequent. Not frequent, excuse me, soon. So the terrain update came in, and little did we know it brought in so much more. We know it now because it's been settled in for a minute, but the fact that this terrain update brought all those changes in with it, it also opened up our ability to get more types of updates. I think it's really helped with that. I think it's given us that performance hit. So basically, I'll refer to terrain update and performance update as the same thing. Okay, so you might be saying like, okay, Jade, what does this all mean? Think about it. Before, there was no way any of this stuff could work. But now we get all of these extra things like better water textures if you're on a new console, right? That's a big deal. So let me go ahead and walk over here. This will probably make more sense over here. Let me... So check it out. Because we had legacy terrain, again, as I said, bad frames, water crashing, we had smaller maps, all of a sudden, because everybody thought everything was bottlenecked, you know, like we can only do these things, maps can't be that large, we can't have minis, like all of a sudden we get more things with the terrain update, and we get better performance. So that just tells you how much it unlocked. It really kicked it into the next gears. So like between the small maps now we have with the terrain update, larger maps, water and electricity systems, which can bog things down, berries and animal update, let's not forget that, ocean texture updates, better frames and terrain details inside of the menu, all with more frames, even for the core systems. So here's what I'm saying. I think it's now possible. Before it wasn't on the old stuff, but I think it is now. And we did get another addition to the helicopter family. We have originally the minicopter, which is my absolute favorite. It's as cool as you think it is. Yes, you can fly to the outpost and do exchanges and have your, or you can go up there and use vending machines. You can drive it on the ground. It's awesome. And then we have the scrap helo over here, which is a big boy. And yes, you can buy these at the Bandit Camp, but we did get the edition on the PC side with the attack helicopter, and honestly, that kind of put me in the realm of, okay, because maybe it's not possible for us right now. Maybe they need to make some more improvements, and that could very well be the case because this guy is so fast. But here's the thing. I think now, because we have custom servers and we can fly around, and you've heard me make this point before, I think this is viable now because when you fly around in this bad boy, if you don't mind me just popping in here real fast and we'll just take it for a spin, I want you to see how fast it is. And I want you to compare it to how fast you can go as an admin at top speed on your server, right? See what I mean? Yes, this is as cool as you think it is. You can have a gunner position on the front. You've got flares. This is basically the anti-Zerg compound vehicle, right? So this moves fast. This is the fastest helicopter that they have. Not quite as maneuverable as the Mini, but this one kind of threw a wrench in the works. So it's like, okay, if they're having a hard time with the Mini, they're going to have a hard time with this one. But now that we have custom servers, and you can literally test this out for yourself, if you have a core system and you own a custom server, go in there, go in as an admin and go top speed. It's no faster than this, right? They're essentially almost the same speed. As a matter of fact, I think the admin speed is a bit faster. So because of that, I think these are all back on the table. Well, here's the other thing, too. So I was like, okay, maybe it's going to be like, you know, sometime next year or whatever. I mean, it could still very well be. But here's the thing. I think it's even closer than that because I was going through some of my notes and I was like, dude, you know, I was just looking over some of the stuff that's already come through, right? By the way, that's my stickman flying as an admin on the server. You like that with the bucket helmet? Woo! So get this. This happened last year, the 11 survey. I know I brought this up in a lot of videos, but as I went through this, it's obvious, but it's not obvious. I'm going through and I go, dude, there's so much of this stuff is already here. We've already got the new legs. Obviously, we don't have the missile silo. We don't have modular vehicles yet, but like I went over to this other section. I was like, what? We literally are getting underwater labs this week, depending on when you're watching it. This is like, it's going to be, what, April 25th on testing branch first. We'll probably have it fully at the end of May 2024 to future-proof it. We have horses. We have military tunnels. We're going to have underwater labs. What's the only thing left on this list? And they would only, and here's the other thing too, for people that are like, oh, minis aren't possible. Literally, they wouldn't put this survey out if these aren't things that they thought they could achieve. So knowing that, we knew minicopters was going to be on the table at some point, but I figured it was pushed to the back, right? But literally, it's like the only thing left, right? I mean, I know we have caves and we have some other things here that we want, but based off of the roadmap and what we already kind of know what's coming, I think this is a huge potential to happen. Now, here's how this all works. Like typically, and again, I'm on the outside looking at it. I don't have any context or anything. This is me just looking at it very, logically and objectively. Typically, these things are all worked on. You have multiple things running at once. So like when one team or person's done with something, they kind of work on multiple things, right? So I think minicopters is on the table. I think industrial furnaces, electrical furnaces, piping is also on the table. I think these two here, industrial update, electric furnaces, and minicopters are the hot items for the secret update. Now, I think it can change at any time based off performance and how it's running in general. I mean, that is performance, but like just in general, like how they feel about it, like if people want something more than the other. I think they're both being worked on. We already know minicopters has had some work done already, but I think these are kind of up in the air. And here's the thing. If this comes in, this will be great. Don't get me wrong. I want industrial updates so bad. It's really good. And it brings in so many other like things to the game, just mechanics in general. But I think if these come in for the secret update, I think this guy is locked and loaded like soon after that. Dare I say, and again, this is me speculating big time, could it be part of our quality of life update, the one at the end of the year? Maybe. Could it be the first update that hits in January 2025? Are we in? We're 24 now. 2025? Maybe. Or could this be part of the secret update? We don't know. But I do know this is definitely on the forefront, as before I thought it was not. And because of this list right here, I was like, literally, we have everything else. So I thought that was very interesting. I wanted to share it with everybody. I was very excited about it because I love the minicopter. I'm telling you, this is such a massive game changer. Like, literally, you're going to have a garage for this bad boy and a garage door on top of any base that you build. It's going to be a big part of mobility. Just imagine getting a jackhammer. It is a solo, right? Getting on your Mini and just going over the mountains, with your ORT, and then jump back on and go right back to your base. You don't have to worry about it. Maps are so much bigger now, so like it just makes so much more sense that we'll have a vehicle of sorts. So I think minis is really in the forefront. So I was really excited. I want to make sure that I shared that with everybody. So hopefully this all makes sense. And yes, if you're looking at potentially offline raids being a thing of the past in the future for us, you might want to check out this video I have highlighted here, already on the end screen. And if you enjoy yourself, be sure to drop a subscribe. If you think you're into it, turn on those notifications, and hopefully we'll see you in the next video / live stream. Love you. Bye. Oots, oots, oots.